Hi, this is Achieve Your Goals through the power of positive thinking. What is positive thinking? Positive thinking is just another term for faith, in accordance with Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. Dr. Peale applied Christianity to everyday problems, and is the person who is most responsible for bringing psychology into the professing church, blending its principles into a message of positive thinking. Dr. Peale said through prayer, you make use of the great factor within yourself, the deep subconscious mind, which Jesus called the kingdom of God within you. He also wrote, your unconscious mind has all the power that turns wishes into realities when the wishes are strong enough. I was looking through the internet and I saw that people had 7 steps and 5 steps and 3 steps, 20 steps, 10 steps, how to achieve goals and through positivity, and these are my 20. Number 1, you must have the power of hope and faith. And basically, your heart and your mind must be right with the Lord if your attitude is to remain positive. 2, be proactive and not reactive. In other words, make things happen. Just don't wait around for things to happen. As we say in the military, just lean forward on the foxhole. 3, make contingency plans. And that basically just speaks to, if you try something and it doesn't work, try something else. Try something else. Just don't put all your chips in one basket, and then if it doesn't work, then you're stuck. 4, create benchmarks or milestones. In other words, this will help measure your progress in achieving your goals. And that's very important. 5, set realistic but challenging goals. In other words, that just basically speaks to making sure you got short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. And make sure that you're constantly working on your goals, but you don't want to set your goals so unrealistic that you'll never be able to achieve them. 6, visualize yourself achieving your goals. In other words, before you can achieve everything, I believe, and I've heard Michael Jordan and a lot of the other superstars, basically, they visualize whatever goal or whatever task that they're doing before it even comes to fruition. One of the things that I caution you is be careful of the joy thieves. Don't let them dictate the terms, because there's a lot of people out there, a lot of haters. Don't let them dictate how you do business. Number 7, write a personal mission statement. And all this is just a roadmap, just to get you from point A to point B. How are you going to achieve your goals? This is all spelled out there. Number 8, find the positive in every situation. I believe that with every situation, you can look at it as the glass half full, glass half empty. I tend to look at things as a glass half full. Remember, repeat every day. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I believe that with all my heart. If something's going to happen, you got to make it happen. Number 10, push away negative, energy-draining feelings or thoughts. Number 11, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? Number 12, learn from your mistakes or learn from the past. They say that learning from mistakes and learning from your past is one of the best way to learn. 13, avoid negative people if all possible. There are some people who I call joy thieves. If they don't have any joy in their life, they're going to try to bring you down also. They got some naysayers out there that if they don't achieve any level of success, they don't want you to achieve it. So stay away from those folks. And yes, I understand that there are times through your job, through your school, that it's going to be challenging, and stay away from those kind of people. But try to limit that exposure to them. 14, share your happiness with others. That's one of the things that I try to do with everything that I achieve. I try to share it with others just to let them know that, hey, you can do it also. 15, stay focused. I can't stress this enough. Many a times people lose focus, and what happens is they don't achieve their goals because they lose focus. You gotta stay focused on whatever you're trying to achieve. 16, talk to yourself. One of the things that I do is I have little 3x5 cards with positive affirmations. 17, seize the day. I can't stress that enough. Every morning when I wake up, I'm ready to seize the day. 18, be your coach or find a coach. Either coach yourself or find somebody to help you get from point A to point B. If it's losing weight, find that person. If you can't do it on your own, find that person that's going to help you. If it's running, if it's investing, whatever it is, find that person that's out there that wants to help you. You just have to find them. Or you can be your own coach through a lot of studying and reading. 19, keep your toolbox full and updated. And this is very important. Everything that I learn, I put it in my toolbox, and I try to share it with others. But I don't just sit by and just take it for granted that my toolbox is full. I'm constantly updating it and constantly taking things out and putting new things in. And lastly, be resilient. In other words, you got to stick to it. You got to continue on, persevere through, which leads me to the next story. Back in November 16 of 2006, I was watching the Larry King show, and on his show he did a segment on positive thinking, and he had the following guests up there. He had Dr. Jane Payne, Dr. James Ray, Dr. George Pratt, Dr. Joy Vitale, and Dr. Jack Canfield. And all these guests, they basically they did a little segment on each, and they all were real positive and talked about empowering people and everything. But the one that really I remember, and the one that really got to me, was Dr. Jack Canfield. And I'm familiar with his work because I read his Chicken Soup for the Soul series. The main thing that I remember was Dr. Canfield talking about perseverance. And he told the story of a 61-year-old young man named Cliff Young. I enjoyed it very much, and I think you will too when I tell you the story. It speaks to what I always say: if one can do it, so can you. If no one has done it, that one can be you. The story that he told was called A Farmer and an Impossible Race. The story goes something like this, and I hope I don't mess it up too bad. Every year, Australia hosts an 875-kilometer or 543-mile endurance race from Sydney to Melbourne. Considered to be the world's longest and toughest. Nike and Adidas and all those big companies. These athletes are mostly less than 30 years old, both men and women, equipped with the most expensive sponsored training outfits and shoes. In 1983, these top-class runners were in for a big surprise. On the day of the race, a guy named Cliff Young showed up. At first, no one cared about him, since everybody thought he was there to watch the event. After all, he was 61 years old, and he showed up in overalls and galoshes over his work boots. As Cliff walked up to the table to take the number, it became obvious to everybody that he was going to run. He was going to join a group of 150 world-class athletes and run. And during the time, these runners don't even know another. And a surprising fact, his only training that he's ever done was done with his 81-year-old mother, Neville Rand. This story speaks about goal achievement and perseverance. Everybody thought that it was a crazy publicity stunt, but the press was curious. So as he took his number 64, and moved into the pack of runners in their special expensive racing outfits, the camera focused on him and the reporter started to ask, "Who are you and what are you doing?" "I'm Cliff Young. I'm from a large ranch where we run sheep outside of Melbourne." They say, "You really going to run this race?" "Yeah," Cliff nodded. "You got any backers?" "No." "Then you can't run." "Yeah, I can," Cliff said. "See, I grew up on a farm where we couldn't afford horses or four-wheel drives. And the whole time I was growing up, until about 4 years ago, when we finally made some money and got a four-wheeler, whenever the storms would roll in, I have to go out and round up the sheep. We had 2,000 heads and we had 2,000 acres. Sometimes they would have to run those sheep for 2 or 3 days. It took a long time, but I catch them. I believe I can run this race. It's only 2 more days, 5 days. I've run sheep for 3. When the marathon started, the pros left Cliff behind in his galoshes. The crowd smiled because he didn't even run correctly. Instead of running, he appeared to run leisurely, shuffling like an amateur. Now the 61-year-old potato farmer from Beech Forest with no teeth has started the live telecast, the ultra tough race with world-class athletes. And all over Australia, people who watched the live telecast kept on praying that someone would stop him from running, because everyone believed he'll die even before he even getting halfway across Sydney. Every professional athlete knew for certain that it took about 5 days to finish the race. In order to compete, you would need to run 18 hours and sleep 6 hours. The thing is, old Cliff Young did not know that. So while all those world-class athletes knew that they knew they had to run for 18 and 6 if they had any chance of winning, no one told Cliff. When the morning news of the race was there, people were in for another big surprise. Cliff was still in the race and had jogged all night down to a city called Mittagong. Apparently, Cliff did not stop after the first day. Although he was still far behind the world-class athlete, he kept on running. He even had the time to wave to spectators who watched the event by the highways. When he got to a town called Albury, he was asked about his tactics for the rest of the race. He said he would run through to the finish, and he did. He kept running every night. He just got a little bit closer to the leading pack. By the last day, he passed all the world-class athletes. And by the last day, he was way in front of them. Not only did he run the Melbourne to Sydney race at 8:61 without dying, he won first place, breaking the race record by 9 hours and became a national hero. The nation fell in love with the 61-year-old potato farmer who came out of nowhere to defeat the world's best long-distance runner. He finished the 875-kilometer race in 5 days, 15 hours, and 4 minutes. Not knowing he was supposed to sleep during the race, he said that when running throughout the race, he imagined that he was chasing sheep and trying to outrun a storm. When Cliff was awarded the first place prize of $10,000, he said he did not know that there was a prize and insisted that he had not entered for the money. He said that there were 5 other runners still out there doing it tougher than me, and he gave them $2,000 each. He did not keep a single cent for himself. That act endeared him to all of Australia, Cliff was humble, average man who undertook an extraordinary feat and became a national hero, and the author was unknown. But this story just speaks to what you can do if you think positive and you set your heart and your mind to something. What are some examples of positive thinking in the achievement of your goals? If you got any, go ahead and share them with me.